Good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. Monday morning, as my buddy on the comments said, West Diddy, money making Monday with JO. Let's go. All right, here we are back at it every single day, Monday through Friday on the live stream. We've got a lot to cover today. Welcome back. Welcome if you're new to the channel. And of course, welcome back if you're been here since day one. We've been here, 5 weeks now, right? We've been doing live streams 5 weeks. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Aldo, Rick's Moneymakers Helton, West Diddy on the comments already. Remember, the first 15-30 minutes, we're going to dive through the charts. We got a lot to cover, including Bitcoin buy signal, including possibly fake news on Bitcoin, ETF approval, some wild stuff going on with the big players out there. And of course, we're going to cover the NASDAQ. Is the bounce over? Is it continuing to bounce? All that stuff. The US 10-year yield, the VIX, the metals, gold, silver, a lot to cover. Magnificent Seven, we'll take a look at them. And then, of course, on the second half of the stream, the last 15-30 minutes, if you are a subscriber and if you comment an asset you would like me to chart, I'll be happy to do so. That would be, type in the symbol, the asset class, if it's unrecognizable. Obviously, if it's like Disney or Amazon, I know what those symbols are. It's on my watch list. But if it was some penny stock or crypto asset that I may not have on the watch list, type in the symbol, the asset name, maybe the asset class. So if I search for it, it's very fast. Lawrence, welcome back. We're going to get through all the comments. We're going to chart everyone's requests on the second half. And first, let's dive right in. We're going to circle back to Bitcoin and the ETF approval. But I want to take a look at the NASDAQ, right? Big bounce, right, today. However, will it last, right? That's what we're going to take a look at. Quick recap. If we're looking at it here, going back to the bearish divergence, followed by the lower high that was put in on the daily chart, correction back down to target one, reversal candle. And then what we talked about was, is this going to be the lower high, right? Lucas Lawn, welcome back. Was this going to be the lower high, right? And then it was coming back down, and then we kept saying it's not confirmed. It's not confirmed yet, right? And then this ended up being the lower high. So it was kind of a rolling double lower high. So we called this the second lower high, right? So it started to break down, started to look like the lower high, but it wasn't. It wasn't confirmed. And then, of course, price coming all the way back down, closing back below here, confirmed this was the second lower high. Then after finding support, you can see on the wicks, double bottom, on these closes, double bottom. And then price came all the way back up into a key retracement target area. Couldn't quite come all the way back to this longer upward trend line. Then we were talking about, is this, good morning, Luis. We're going to come back to all the comments. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new to the channel. But we're going to rock and roll, knock out some charts here the first 10, 15 minutes, and then we're going to circle back to Bitcoin, and then we'll go from there. So here we are. We were talking about this. Will it put in a lower high, right? Will it put in that third lower high? And I'm going to keep the question mark on there until it's confirmed, right? So for me, based off the lower time frames, got into short position back here, right? A little bit higher. So back here, got into the short position, was holding it, was up pretty good when price is down here at 15,000 because it's based off of futures, based off of the leverage, right? And now is it going to find support off of these trending dots and this is what we kind of talked about even on like Thursday, Friday live streams. You can go back and take a look at it. Would we put in a lower high similar to this, where it's just like kind of a rolling lower high comes over? Or would it put in like a double rolling high like this, right? So it's too early to say. The candle started off very bullish, back all the way up to 15,324. I personally have not closed the short position, but doesn't mean I won't. We're going to see how this candle kind of turns out. And if it starts closing where it's starting to look more and more bullish, then maybe I'll close it. But as of right now, I had taken that short position closer up here. When I took the short position back here, I did end up taking profit down here in this target area. Then I was waiting for it patiently to kind of like put in that lower high and then attack it again. So this could end up being the lower high up here. I could end up being right, and it may not, right? So that's what we're kind of watching and waiting, because if it does something similar to this, I would get out of my short position, wait for it to kind of roll back over, and then attack it back to the downside again. So currently holding it right now. If it starts to break down from this trend line, I'll continue to hold it, see if it breaks down like this, and then puts in another lower high right there. And then we'll continue to watch it play out. And as of right now, I'm just personally holding. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Do your own research. And if you go in with massive positions, right, you're probably sweating it out pretty hard right now, right? Because you might be over positioned. 1 minute you're up big, and the next minute you're either at break even or holding a position slightly underwater if you got in a little bit later on the short. So just be aware of that. You know, a baseball reference for the U.S. baseball fans out there, you can get into the Hall of Fame by hitting a lot of base hits. You don't always have to hit home runs, right? And you're going to strike out a lot more looking for those massive home runs, right? And emotions, the bigger the position you have, the more emotions you have to worry about and manage on every single candle, right? So just be aware of that. Over time, you may want to protect your overall trading accounts, your overall investment accounts, by maybe not swinging for the fences, right? So doesn't mean if it starts to roll over, we don't add to the positions. But as of right now, I feel comfortable for what I have. And it doesn't mean that I won't end up close out a position or just let it get stopped out, right? So as of right now, still holding it based off of that position back here on the lower time frame. And I'm continuing to hold it right now. Will this just be a large bounce and create a wick after this sell signal? Remember, it's still a pending buy signal from here. Has not put in a higher high on RSI. This was a lower high. Will it find support here and continue upwards? Or will this end up just being another lower high and then continue to be sold off? Too early to call it, right? Had that bullish MACD crossover that we talked about. Could it just end up getting rejected here at the 0 line and then end up rolling over on the MACD? It's too early to say. It's too early to call it. It could put in a move similar to back here where it's like a double lower high, right? And then that's when we would we would be getting out of our position most likely and then attacking again back to the downside. So that's what we're waiting for. That's what we're watching. And we'll wait for it to play out in real time, or I will. You guys will be along with me on the ride. And here we go. So the Dow Jones, right, had this. If you go back here, this is a longer term lower high, right? But from the rally, this is the peak of the rally. And if we look back, we did have some bearish divergence. Price came back down, put in that double rolling lower high, came all the way back down, kind of faked out to the downside. We expect fake outs along the way, right? So big move down. It doesn't just crash. The Dow Jones just doesn't crash down to $15,000 overnight, right? That would be far too easy for someone shorting the market, right? It comes all the way down. There's trading involved, right? There's profit taking involved. And then they play it back to the upside, right? Then there's retracements. However high of the retracement is, we don't know. Could come all the way back up, retrace back up here, even put in a double lower high again, bounce, and then, it'd be far too easy if it just went straight all the way down, right? That would be way too easy, it seems like. There's always expect bounces along the way, always expect retracements along the way, and then we play it both sides. We'll play it to the downside, not all at the same time. I don't play to the upside and downside on one trade at the same time. I don't do that. That was kind of what I did before I had a strategy dialed in the early days of options trading. I would play to both sides. And then as one side was starting to gain momentum, I would close out the other position. So even though I had a lesser strategy back then, I managed my risk with playing both sides. And then once one side started to flush down, I would close out the other side. So, but I haven't done that in a long time. After dialing the strategy more, I just play it more to the downside and then or to the upside, and then put in the risk manager of the stop losses and all that stuff. So Dow Jones pending buy signal. We're waiting for this. We're looking for bounces along the way, retracements along the way. If you're buying those dips in a longer term downtrend, right, where you've got the weekly chart had a sell signal, it's more bearish on the weekly chart, right? Then if you're buying those dips, you better sell those rips, right? So it's a downtrend until it's not. The Dow Jones kind of led the way. The Russell 2000 kind of led the way on the weekly chart. You know, it's been more bearish over the past couple of months compared to the NASDAQ has not had a sell signal on the weekly chart. And but interesting enough, you know, we're back down in this target area. There is, I mean, it's day one, right? It is day one, but on the weekly chart, we do have a pending reversal candle. Doesn't mean it's going to be the low, but it doesn't mean, you know, we did put in a lower low, right? So you got a lower high here on the weekly chart, and you've got a lower low. So even if this reversal candle is saying it's the low, a new low, it could just kind of retrace back up, let the trending dots catch up, and then continue back down. So expect bounces along the way, right? Expect retracements along the way. Expect the trending dots to catch up. Expect the moving averages to catch up. That's what we do. We expect all that. We don't expect just straight down, right? We expect these bounces. We expect these retracements as it continues downward. It's continuing to trend downward. The dollar, right? The dollar is still bullish on the daily, on the weekly chart, right? We talked about this. We talked about the reversal candle down here. We talked about the 200-week moving. I mean, not on this live stream because we didn't start the live stream back there, but in the Discord, we talked about, you know, finding support just above here on the lower time frames of the daily chart. There was bullish divergence, I believe. I have to go back. Expecting retracements. 3 out of the 4 targets have hit retracements so far to the upside. On the daily chart, expecting retracements and bounces along the way, right? So that's what we're expecting along the way. Retracements while the weekly chart is still bullish. If you go to the daily chart, we talked about this on the live streams, right? What did we talk about? We talked about there's bearish divergence, right? There's bearish divergence. Then it was breaking down on the live streams. We were talking about this. Then you know, at some point it's going to put in a lower high of this shorter term retracement. It came all the way back up, almost retested the upward trend line. Is it putting in a lower high on the dollar, right? On this shorter term retracement? Then will it find key target at a key target area? Will it find support and then continue its move up? This is what we're expecting. As long as the weekly chart is still bullish, I'm going to expect retracements and bounces along the way. Not bounces along the retracements and corrections along the way in a bullish uptrend. So how would this play out, right? In real time, how would it play out? That's how I would play it out. No matter how it comes down or how low it goes, right? Expecting that, and then play it to the upside as well. Or in this case, you know, if the market is going to continue to correct and have a bounce until that standpoint, you'll see that's how I kind of manage it, wait for it to find key support at a key target area. And I believe the trending dots come into somewhere around here or somewhere around there on the weekly chart, right? So doesn't mean it can't go below the trending dots and still close back above and find support of the trending dots, right? So it can find support and then continue to the upside on the dollar. The weekly chart is still bullish and will be bullish until proven otherwise. So on the daily chart with bearish divergence, expecting retracements, expecting corrections along the way, right? This is a big move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13 upward candles in a row on the weekly chart. Waldo, welcome back. Tesla John, welcome back. Glad your Vikings got a win yesterday for you. Thank you. Wasn't a convincing win, but we'll take the win nonetheless. 10-year yield looks very similar, in my opinion, to the dollar. Deep breath. Here we go. Are we smashing the like button? Are we getting closer to our goal of 100 likes? Someone let me know where we're at. Let's hit that like button. Let's hit the subscribe button. Let's help it out. Let's help me, help you, help me, right? Let's do it. Let's get it together. Smash that like button, subscribe, and we'll continue to snipe at the markets together. So this is the 10-year yield is also still bullish on the weekly chart. It's bullish until it's not. We drew this out, right? We drew this out on the shorter term. Could have that retracement back to this upward trend line. Could have a retracement to these upward trending dots. Rise Evans, how long have you been trading? Jesse, not 20 years. I'm only 44. I was in real estate and mortgage for 17 years. But I've been full-time swing trading on my own since early 2021. I wasn't allowed to go full-time swing trading in early 2021 until the income was proven, until I could make more than the real estate and mortgage world. And if we go back to early 2021, it was easy money in real estate and mortgage. The rates were all-time lows. I was doing loans under 3%. I knew it couldn't last forever. I already had taught myself this skill. I had started with options and before getting into crypto and trading Bitcoin and futures and all that stuff. So early 2021, I've been 100% swing trader with no real estate and mortgage income after that. So it's more important I think, how important it is that, proving the model and then burning the boats, as they say, and being a 100% swing trader, but as far as I haven't been swing trading for 20 years. No. So let's get to it. Good question though. Rise Evans, 10-year yield. So if we go look at the daily chart, right? Daily chart, you've got here the daily. Let's see. Let's look at this. We had the bearish divergence on the 10-year yield that we talked about, followed by a reversal candle. The rates broke down, right? The rates broke down from this upward trend line. I almost said price, but the rates broke down, came back up. We were talking about this on the live stream. Is it going to put in a lower high? It's not confirmed yet, right? Could come back up, put in a lower high, and then continue back down. This is where the weekly trending dots are at, is the upward trend line. And then it could find support down here, what we talked about on previous live streams, and then continues to bounce up from there. 10-year yield, right? Okay, VIX. We talked about this time and time again, way before the breakout. This is a wild animal. It is the volatility of the S&P 500. We expect massive moves like this. We did an over-exaggerated move like this, but it's not that exaggerated, right? It's a wild animal. And the reason why we talked about this early on is because we've seen this many times before, where it's just like big moves, right? So big wild moves. We expect this from the VIX. So if you're watching the VIX and you're expecting it to go just straight up, it's always possible, but in the meantime, there's a lot of big ups and downs all the way. It's the volatility of the S&P 500. So it's a wild animal. There's a pending reversal candle right now, which is interesting. That would help say that possibly the continued bounce happens, right? But it doesn't mean that by the end of the day, the reversal candle disappears, right? It's a pending reversal candle. But there was that MACD bearish crossover. Could take some more time before the next move, right? There's an RSI sell signal. This could be a lower high here. Could be a reversal candle. But, like I said, it's a wild animal, and we don't hold too much weight to it, candle to candle. If you look at the weekly chart, it's still bullish on the weekly chart, right? Hit two of the, let me clean up some of this move here. Hit, had the buy signal, hit one target so far here. Maybe I closed out another lower target here just to, maybe I just deleted it right now, but I was pretty sure it hit two targets to the upside so far. If it does break out of this longer term downward trend line, then I'd expect these targets. And then if and when that happens, comes up, hits these targets, I don't expect a massive move until it breaks back above these targets, flips them into support, and then goes from there, right? Then I would expect a massive move. We're taking it level by level. We're not getting ahead of ourselves on the VIX. That's what we're expecting there, right? So that's the VIX. Gold on the weekly chart, it had a reversal candle on the weekly chart, which is interesting. Doesn't mean that that was it for the bottom of gold. It's possible. Had a sell signal followed by a quick reversal down. It is still, price is still, and we talked about this on Friday, that it could come all the way back up here and then end up just putting another lower high in and continuing back down to retest the 200-week moving average, possibly take out this pivot point here, right? It hasn't. There was profit taking right above it, right above this next target down, hit a couple targets down to the downside, right? And so it's too early to say. That's the weekly chart. On the daily chart, they had the buy signal, right? Price is getting oversold for 3, 4, 5, about a week, right? Price is getting oversold. And we talked about this before even this buy signal. We talked about, a retracement. Even before down here, we were talking about, expecting bounces along the way, expecting retracements per 06. Love the anticipation before the BTC chart. What are you talking about per 06? We're going to get into the BTC chart for sure, but I'm just curious, the anticipation before the BTC chart. Let me know exactly what you're talking about, just so we can talk about it. Okay, so this could be a potentially lower high. It's running into resistance. Where the bottom could be in, this is what I would expect. If the bottom is in on gold, which is not confirmed yet, it could just put in another lower high at the end of the day, is if it comes back down, retraces, and at some point, and we did talk about this on the live stream, puts in a lower high, right? And then breaks out. I would be more surprised if it came down straight like this and came straight back out, right? We talked about this, that I would be more surprised if the bottom was in down here and we didn't get a lower high first, kind of confirming that, and then playing it to the upside after that. Just don't wait for your thoughts. That's all. Oh, just can't. Oh, you got it. All right, we're going to jump into it next. This is gold. Take a look at silver. Similar thoughts, right? On let's clean some of this up. Similar thoughts. Big move down, well below the 200-week moving average. A daily close back above the 200-week moving average, but looks like it got rejected right off of the upward trend line. So did it break all the way down? Down here, we were talking about a retracement. Up here, we were talking about before the buy signal on the previous live stream. Previous live streams, could it come all the way back up, back test the 200-week moving average? It did. Could it come all the way back up and back test this upward trend line? It did. Will it regain it? Possible. But as of right now, we're just going to see it put in a lower high here. Will it put in a lower high here and then end up rolling back down? If this was the bottom, again, we're going to say if, because it's not confirmed yet. If this is the bottom here, before the next major move to the upside, I would expect a lower high to be put in at some point, wherever that is, whether that's here, whether that's here. I would expect a lower high to be put in, followed by the breakout. So I'm not concerned about guessing where the bottoms are. I want to see where the lows are put in, right? And from that point, is it putting in a higher low? and then playing it to the upside after that. So that's the way I play it. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. The anticipation for per 06. Let's take a look at it and let's talk about it. All right. So the quick recap, right? If we go back, we had the reversal candle up here at 31,800. We talked about it back here on the live streams. About when we actually not on the live streams, but in the Discord and on the X app, definitely we talked about it and put out videos on Bitcoin. So we weren't doing the live streams yet, but there are Bitcoin video updates talking about this in real time, where at 29,200, 300, 400, we talked about price coming all the way down, right? Similar to silver and gold, finding support after hitting multiple targets, right? And then we talked about, as we were going on the live streams back here on September 6th, we were talking about finding support as well. And even back here, we talked about finding support, building out a lower high, building out a lower shoulder at some point, right? And then see if it comes back down to these lower targets similar to silver and gold. That was a massive wick up, right? We're going to get to that. So we did talk about this here. And here we had bullish divergence. And then on the first live stream, we talked about the bullish divergence. Then we talked about the reverse candle. And then we hit 3 out of the 4 targets to the upside, broke back down, hit 2 targets. And then as we were talking about it over the weekend, I posted on the X app. So if you're not following me over there, definitely go follow me and marketsniper.pro or Market Sniper Pro over there. We're posting charts pretty much daily, right? That there was a 4-hour buy signal, and then not even too much longer after that, this massive move up. It was a 7% gain within a 10-minute candle, right? So we talk about this often. It's a trader's market. There's market manipulation by the big players, right? All this ETF approval. We're going to find out, in hindsight, we're going to read this X app post here. Just in 65 million BTC liquidated within minutes following fake reports that BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF was approved. So that's the thing. This is what big players do. And this is what I was trading even before I went 100% as a swing trader only. I was trading options for years before that. While I was doing real estate mortgage. And what I know coming from the options market before ever getting into Bitcoin trading or futures trading for that matter, or, trading forex and stuff like that, I was trading options. And that's what I call noise, right? Noise is the news. Noise is the narratives, right? Noise is whatever the backroom deals are happening or big players are doing behind the scenes. I can't control that, right? I can't control that. Bright light, bright light. Yep, we got a bright light here. So just in $65 million Bitcoin liquidated, this is not a big surprise, right? It's not a big surprise. We're going to hit the like button there. We've already shared something similar, but we're going to hit the like button there because we're not surprised. Liquidation games get played out. It's not just spot Bitcoin. And futures were created end of 2017. And just even when the Bitcoin futures was created back in 2017, it still went into a bear market, right? So it's one of those sell the news type of things, or hey, let's push out that news narrative. But they already made the move, right? They're already taking profit down here. And on the lower time frames, you can see reversals happening, right? You can see it on the 1 hour, then you can see it on the 4 hour. And then there's a couple 4 hours along the way. So if we zoom in on the 4 hour chart, right? After this breakdown here, I posted, hey, there's a pending buy signal on the 4 hour chart. So that must have been Sunday, somewhere between, it was probably around 11 a.m. my time, right? It was about 2 hours into the 4 hour candle. So I posted that on the X app. Hey, pending buy signal on the 4-hour chart. And it was about that time that I closed my short position, right? So I was in a short position. At one point, I was up. I had a little bit higher leverage than normal, but I had I was up about 50% at some point, and I ended up taking profit at about, it was just shy of 26%. I think it was like 25.8% or something like that, 25.9%. I don't know what it was at the end of the day with the fees and stuff like that, right? So close out my position there, right? It was a pending buy signal. I posted that on the X app, and then not even three candles later, it started to get ultra bullish on the 4-hour chart, and then boom, massive move up. I didn't take a long position on that. Wasn't, I wasn't expecting that, but when there's a short squeeze going to happen, right? If anything, expected some sort of retracement back to this area, and then with a short squeeze, when they're liquidating $65 million, right? And people are stop losses are getting taken out, high liquidation gains are getting taken out, then those are all things that are on the table and a possibility. Pushed it all the way to almost $30,000, hit $30,000 on this exchange. Some of the exchanges may not have hit $30,000, but nice round clean number. Profit was taking and flipped right back around, right? Flipped right back around. So will we get a daily close back above this trend line? Could it trap some more bulls? Possible. Could it continue this longer term building out that right shoulder? On previous streams, you hear me talk about, someone asked me a question that could it go back up to 27,000? I think like 27,600. Someone asked me about it, and I thought it was less likely at the time because it was breaking down and there was a pending sell signal on the weekly chart. So if you zoom in here, there's no sell signal on the weekly chart as of right now, right? So it's day one of the weekly candle. So will it just reverse back down? And will this just be a very bearish like weekly candle, right? Here's a similar like huge wick up to 31,800, ended up closing back down. So is it going to close back above this weekly level at 28,000? I mean, it's so early in the week, right? So we don't know yet. We'll be there watching and waiting. But if you kind of draw this from this wick to this wick, could it just be building out this right shoulder still? It's possible, right? So we don't know yet. On the daily chart, right? Will this reversal candle still be the reversal candle, or will there be another one? This is what we're going to be kind of watching and waiting, right? If this candle closes back below this trend line and starts to keep closing back below, this could be the first fake out. This could be another fake out to the upside and then continue back down, right? That's one thing that the snipers heard me talk about in the Discord for more than a year and a half is we expect fake outs along the way, right? We don't hold on to narratives. We expect fake outs along the way. So if this is the reversal candle, if this is a lower high and this ends up closing back below it, say here, then this would play out as two targets to the downside. This would be a fake out to the upside and then close back down like that. We've seen that play out many times before. Also, this could be a lower high and this could be a lower high, right? And then this could be an actual breakout. As of right now, I'm still leaning towards further downside, especially with this big wick candle. But if we start closing back above and the weekly chart is still bullish, then we have to look at, possible moves to the upside. But as of right now, still looking for that lower high to be put in after longer term bearish divergence. So we're going to stick with that until then. As of right now, this did close me out of my position about the same time that I posted on the X app that a 4-hour pending buy signal, because it was looking like I wanted to lock in some profits. I didn't expect the price to get short squeezed all the way up to $30,000. but I did expect some sort of retracement back up into that 27,000, area up here, 26,000 after the pending buy signal on the 4-hour chart. So I personally closed out my short position since it had leverage and I want to lock in some gains there. So that's Bitcoin there. We'll continue to watch it. The 4-hour chart is ultra bullish, right? Ultra bullish on the 4-hour chart. Is this end up going to be the end of it? We don't know. That was such a strong move up. Will it end up just kind of retracing back there and put it in one of those Bart Simpson type of patterns, right? So that remains to be seen. As of right now, you have this massive wick down on the weekly chart. I'm sorry, on the 1-hour chart. Here, let me zoom out of here. 1-hour chart, right? Chart's getting messy right now. Probably have to clean all this up. Might as well just delete it all. Take a look at it. So we got the 200-week moving average still closing back below it, right? At the end of the day, is this just going to be a huge wick up and then reverses back down at some point? Too early to say, too early to call it, but massive move up, massive move starting to happen back down, and then we'll find out from there. Whew, Lawrence, Madic, please. All right, let's get through some of these comments. We're going to continue on as well. We're going to jump through all the Magnificent Sevens. Apple down 0.67%, 0.68% as of right now. We'll take a look at Magnificent Seven. Let's get through some of these comments. West Diddy, Money Making Monday. Yep, you know it. Good morning, snipers. Volatility, good morning, Jesse. Let's go, snipers. Let's do it. Aldo, back again. Olsen, SEN. There you go. Hope you had a good weekend. Thank you. I did. And did have a good week. Hope you had a good weekend as well. Hi, everyone. Hi, Lawrence. What's up? Lucas Lon. Good morning, Luis. Waldo, good morning. What's up, Jesse? Glad you're back. Thank you. Appreciate it. How long have you been trading? Yep, covered that. 16 likes, 16 watching. All right, we'll get that up. Ooh, we got a lot more people watching right now. So let's smash the like button. Let's keep it going. The goal is 100 likes. Let's do it. Just can't wait for your thoughts. That's all. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions per 06 because we just went through Bitcoin and we are kind of going through a lot. Let's keep an eye on it as well. We will jump back, still hovering right around that 28,000, 3%. It was up 10% at one moment, right? So one moment in time. Let's watch it. So we do have potential bearish divergence forming on the 1-hour chart, right? We do have potential bearish divergence on the 1-hour chart. Could that be it? Could that be the high, right? We don't know. I mean, these are very low time frames. So we'll keep an eye on it. Bubble Donkey, welcome back. Awesome, Jesse. Welcome back. Welcome back, longtime sniper. I believe. Ugur, Aiden, what a day. Yeah, what a day, right? Started yesterday, right? I was watching football, keeping an eye on the charts, seeing it unfold because I have a position open and I don't want to get stopped out. I do want to lock in profits along the way. That's the whole point. And I didn't catch the bottom with a 50% return, but I'll take that 25.6, especially after that, right? Don't ignore the charts, especially if you're trading with leverage. You definitely don't want to hold on to a narrative, right? So we do have bearish divergence on the 1-hour chart, but it's the 1-hour chart, right? So take that for what it is, right? Lawrence, maybe it is too bright. Maybe it is too bright. Let me lower the brightness. Maybe it was getting too bright. So good call there, Lawrence. Madic. All right, we'll circle back. We'll cover Madic. I haven't even taken a look at it this morning. Andre, what's up, Andre? Welcome back. Peter, good morning. Good morning, Peter. We'd love to see your opinion on a BTC miner Riot. Okay, yeah. So if that's one of your requests, we'll definitely take a look at it in the second half of this stream, which we're already at 9:40. We had a lot to cover. Let's circle back to a BTC miner, Riot. And let's circle back to Madic. Those looks like the only 2 requests as of right now. So make sure you get your requests in if that's what you want. Lucasian, awesome. Thank you. Bright light, bright light. Thank you. I appreciate that. Demo H, useful update. Thanks, Jesse. You got it. You got it. This is what we're looking at. Just in 65 million BTC liquidated. Short squeeze. If you go back to it, right? If you're into a short that was late, right? Or any shorts that never took profit all the way back here, right? Let me get on the daily chart just so we can see it better, right? Let me get back to the daily chart. So if you took a short position, I've taken multiple. I took a short position here, took profit, right? Again, bullish divergence, reverse candle, took profit. Actually took a long position. I did not take a long position on this last one, but I did get out of my short position based on the 4-hour chart, right? But if you did not take profit anywhere from going all the way back to short positions from August, right? And you just hold it, you most likely got stopped out, right? Or if you're playing high leverage game, 10x, 20x, 30x, 50x, 100x, right? And you're in it and you didn't get out, you just got liquidated, right? So 65 million, it sounds like a lot. I remember at the top of Bitcoin in 2021, within a 24-hour, I mean, that was within minutes, right? So keep that in mind. 65 million sounds like a lot, and that is a lot within minutes. But going back to the top of 2021, there was like 1 billion in liquidations within a 24-hour span. So there is a lot of liquidations going on. And that was about the time when I was taking profits on my 10x leverage at 61,000, just under, 60,000. I think my average fill was like 60,750 or 60,800 or something like that. So there was a lot of liquidations back at that time. So 65 million within a few minutes does sound like a lot. And boom, I mean, that hit it up from way up there. So all of those shorts pretty much taken out, reset. And then we're going to find out if it just reverses back down. We're going to find out if it closes back below this area here, just under $28,000. It's possible. It's still early in the day. There's still time remaining where to close back down, continues to build out this right shoulder, continues to, this is still the lower high, right? And but it's too early to say. We'll find out. We're going to continue to watch it in real time. NASDAQ, similar thoughts there. So let's take a look at it. Let's go to Madic. That was the first one. That was the first request. But let's take a quick glance at Magnificent 7. We do have going back to NVIDIA, right? It had the bearish divergence. Still waiting to see if this is there was a pending reversal candle on Friday. Now the reversal candle is there, and a candle closed below this trend line. Still may have found support on the trending dots, right? Could end up putting in like a similar to the NASDAQ previously, where there was like a lower, a second rolling lower high like that before coming back down. But as of right now, there is a reverse candle. This could be the lower high. And then this is just a retracement back test and then continues to roll over like that. So that's NVIDIA. Reversal candle, no sell signal as of yet, but the reverse candle on the daily chart. Meta had this bearish divergence after this big move down. Is it just going to put in a lower high at some point? We're going to continue to watch it, wait for it. Let's kind of zoom out here. So got this longer term bearish divergence all the way to here, right? So at some point, it's going to put in a lower high, and then we're going to see a bigger correction on Meta. Amazon, right? This was bearish divergence followed by a breakdown. At some point, it's going to put in a lower high. It didn't fully close this gap back up here. So it's possible after coming back down, kind of battles up, retraces back up, wherever that is, and puts in that lower high, right? Where is that lower high going to be put in? We don't know exactly, but hit some targets to the upside. Watch for that lower high to be put in, whether that's here from an eyeball test, maybe it's here where that retracement is. And then, of course, at the end of the day, this could still be that lower high, and it's just coming back up and ends up rolling back over. Too early to say, too early to call it. This, as of right now, could be the lower high. If you start getting closed back above 52 on RSI, then that wasn't the lower high, and you're still waiting and watching for that lower high to play out on Amazon. Microsoft, is this going to be the lower high? Too early to say, too early in the day. We'll see where this daily candle closes. If it closes back above, then we're watching and waiting for that lower high to be put in. The MACD had that bullish crossover, had the buy signal on RSI daily signal there, followed by the sell signal here on the sharpshooter candles. So at some point, will it put in the lower high and then roll over from there? That's Microsoft. Tesla had the sell signal. It's still back. It looks a little bit different. Looks similar to the silver consolidation patterns up in here. And will this be that lower high? Broke down, had the close back below the trending dots, below this trend line. Sell signal found temporary support on this trend line here. And everything that we've been talking about, will this be the lower high? Will this be the lower high? If it plays out similar to silver, right, then we're watching it, will it kind of do one of these, put in another lower high, and then come back down to lower prices, right? That's what silver did. But during that whole entire time, we're looking for that consolidation, whether it goes up or down. We'll be watching and waiting for it. As of right now, we're leaning towards, because of the sell signal and it breaking down from there and continuing to put in lower highs here, right? So this is the way that we've been leaning. Doesn't mean that it couldn't find support and break up to the upside. But as of right now, we're continuing to lean. The trending dots start to roll over like that and break down from there. That's what we're continuing to watch on Tesla. So we'll see. Apple, is this just another lower high, right? Was this a lower high? This was bearish divergence. Is this a lower high? This is what we've been talking about. Broke down, right? Down 0.74%. Apple was a $3 trillion asset way back here, right? Went all the way down to target 2. Bounced all the way back up. Filled this gap up here, right? Filled the gap at 181. And then this candle here, we talked about it on Friday. Big reversal candle, right? If you take off the sharpshooter candles, you can see this is a big engulfing reversal candle on Apple, right? This is why I still think the overall markets are just bouncing, because Apple kind of led the way to the downside, right? It did kind of lead the way for the Magnificent Seven since we've been covering it. Sol, if possible, you got it. We'll cover Sol. This is an engulfing bearish candle, right? Price broke down, gap down. Looks like it back tested all the way up to 179 and is pushing back down, right? Apple looking bearish, right? So let's turn the indicator back on, right? Let's go to the weekly chart. So the weekly chart had one sell signal, two sell signal, and this was a lower high. Is this going to be a lower high on Apple? Too early to call it, but the overall EMA is trending down. There was a bearish divergence, RSI sell signal. Nothing has really changed from that standpoint. Apple had the bearish MACD crossover, continuing to trend downward. So the bounces will become less and less higher as if RSI continues to trend downward. If the MACD continues to trend downward below the MACD 0 line, Could see some lower prices, hit target 3, possibly target 4, has not come back down and hit the 200-week moving average as of yet, like some of these Magnificent Seven stocks have. We'll continue to watch it on Apple. Now, let's get into some of these requests here. The first one is Madic, right? Let's go back to the Sniper Top 40. I have Madic on here. There's Sol as well. So let's start with Madic, right? So we're going to start with the weekly chart. And then let me know in context, Lawrence and Ugur, Aiden, and who else? What was the other one? Riot. Where was Riot? I don't know. We'll take a look at it. But let me know. Oh, Peter, let me know if you're looking at it as from like a buy the dip scenario. Are you holding a short? Are you going to buy? All that stuff. Put all the details in the comments, and then we'll talk about it together. So overall, the weekly chart is still currently bearish, right? However, there's currently, and this is day one of the weekly chart. I am on short already, Lawrence. Okay, on Madic. So the weekly chart overall is bearish, right? It is still currently bearish. And this could be a lower high. This could be a lower high. This was a lower low. This was a lower low, right? This is day one. And on day one, it looks like it's, what if this is going to be a higher low, right? It's way too early to say. What if this ends up being a bullish MACD crossover? I'm holding short, but thinking if I should get out. Yeah, that's something you'll have to decide, Lawrence. I'm not here to give financial advice or tell you to do one way or the other, but we'll read the charts and then you can come to your own conclusion from there. If you're in profit, it's always good to lock in profits, and you could always, get back in after that. You could always re-enter, so something to be aware of. But, it is still currently bearish on the weekly chart. ETH did come back below this blue line, but Madic has not. Bitcoin has not yet. Peter, Riot, I am thinking about buying all right. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know so we can kind of take a look at it. So, Lawrence, from a short position, right? So from the short position, the weekly chart is still bearish. There are some signs, right? But it's not yet for the weekly chart. It's day one, and the day one hasn't even closed yet. It doesn't mean anything yet. It's still bearish. Now, if we get to the daily chart, right? The daily chart, similar to Bitcoin, had that reversal candle, right? After the bullish divergence, right? Put in a higher low. Then after hitting targets to the upside, had the reversal candle. And then after the reversal candle, wicks all the way back up. Probably stopped out a lot of stops to the upside, liquidated a lot of high leverage gamblers, right? 50x, 100x, 20x gamblers, right? Followed by the breakdown, sell signal. Price came all the way back down. It's too early to say, right? But you had the MACD bearish crossover, and it was kind of like rejected at the zero line, right? So it's currently bearish. Came all the way down. Is it possible it found key support and this puts in a higher low and then continues upward? It's possible, but it's way too early to say, right? As of right now, when the weekly chart is bearish and the daily chart is bearish, then we still have to assume that this puts in a lower high, right? RSI and price, and then continues downward from there. And this candle with that big wick, as of right now, will look very bearish, and the trending dots are still trending back down. So you just have to decide what your game plan is and what time frame you're on, right? What time frame are you even on? Because that's the weekly chart and the daily chart. But sometimes it flips around quickly, right? So you've got, if you were to drop down the 4-hour chart, getting back down to this key support area, right? You had bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart, right? Followed by, you start to see a buy signal, and then Was this a higher low on the 4-hour chart? Saying that, letting you know that there's a retracement coming from this big move down. So as we're expecting bounces along the way, reversal, lower high, breakdown, nice massive breakdown from here, right? Nice massive breakdown, 12%. That's not even counting if you're using leverage. Followed by bullish divergence, followed by a higher low, come back, retrace back some of this move, see if this is going to put in a lower high again, and then continue down from there. So depends on the time frame, depends if you're on the daily chart, the weekly chart. Based off the weekly chart and the daily chart, I still have to assume that a lower high gets put in on the lower time frames. And this was such a big move down, it just retraces back up and then moves back down from there. Now, if the daily chart and the weekly chart, are finding support, then you're going to see the 4-hour chart like go through some consolidation like this. And if it is finding support and reversing back around to the upside, that's kind of like you're going to see probably a pattern of consolidation like that. And then they would move up to the upside, right? So until that happens, expecting the lower highs to get sold off, expecting the retracements, and then retracement back down, retrace back up, and it goes through this consolidation pattern, right? That's what we see happen, play often not. If you have any follow-up questions to that, Lawrence, let me know. Let me know if that answered your question. Let's get back to some of these comments. Peter, Riot. All right, let's do it. Let's take a look at Riot. It's up 1.64% today. It was up quite a bit more, right? And put in that wicks, right? I'm more about the candle closes than anything else. See how the candle closes. This is on the 4-hour chart. Let's get back to the daily chart. Let's get off of these lower time frames. Did have bullish divergence on the daily chart, right? After this big correction down, right? Big correction down, took out this pivot point here, right? Is it finding key support? Possible, right? It is possible to find support. Did have this MACD bullish crossover, but well below the zero line, which means that, any bullish crossover could just flip back over and cross back over and continue to be bearish. Lawrence, thanks. That's all for me. You got it. Awesome. So you've got this longer term downward trend line, right? From this top. So if the bottom is in, right, this would be an aggressive play where you've got bullish divergence, right? Could be additional bullish divergence. And then here, it's too early to say, Peter, but this could end up being a higher low and then it comes back, reverses out. So, a more aggressive trend line is probably going to be like back above there, but it kind of hit that already and kind of faked out to the upside, similar to here and here, and then reversed right back down. It may take some time for it to kind of like build momentum and then break out, and then maybe even gets retested there, comes back down, right? And you're talking about it could take some time to play out, and then maybe you get a bigger move to the upside. But as of right now, even with the RSI buy signal, it's still currently bearish. The weekly chart is currently bearish, right? And it's still kind of just letting the EMA kind of catch up, letting the MACD catch up. The MACD on the weekly chart is starting to get back below the zero line, which is also bearish. Zomber, hey Jesse, could you please chart Kujira, Kugi? Yeah, we'll definitely chart it for you. Thanks for putting in both the asset name and the symbol. I appreciate that. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the live stream. Are we smashing these like buttons and the subscribe buttons? Is that what we're doing today? I hope so. Let's hit that 100 like, whether you're on the replay crew or on the live crew. We need your support and we appreciate it. So Riot, still currently bearish. Is it letting the trending dots catch up, right? Is it letting the moving averages catch up? Could it possibly build out a right shoulder and a lower high? At some point, similar to Bitcoin, we could see a bounce, right? A lower high get put in, a retracement, build out that right shoulder, whatever you want to call it, and then come back down, right? At some point, we could see something like that play out. As of right now, it's broke down back below it. So this could be like fake out number one, longer term, bounce all the way back up, possibly even retest the 200-week moving average. You can see here and here, and then this would be that first lower high. On the weekly chart, not really seeing a lower high unless these are sneaky lower highs here. But maybe it doesn't even bounce up that high just because it is starting to look more and more bearish. And so maybe it just kind of bounces back up, lets the trending dots catch up, and then kind of roll over from there. Too early to say. If I had to guess right now, or take your best higher probability, maybe it bounces it back up short term on the daily chart, right? While the weekly chart is still bearish, and it takes time for it to flip around, right? And then at some point, if it does come back up and build that right shoulder, it would put in a higher low and then start to roll back around. So I think it would take some time to flip this around, possibly come back up like this, and then come back down lower right there. So at some point, you would expect a retracement and a lower high, but maybe not, right? It could just come back up. That's your lower high, and then comes back down. So that's the weekly chart. Still bearish on the weekly chart. Daily chart, maybe this is a higher low, and you get that bounce back up into here, and then find out from there if it goes higher from there on the daily chart. Let's go down the 4-hour chart, right? So the 4-hour chart, just to take a look at it, comments, what do we got? What do we got? Looking to accumulate for longer term. Okay, we'll take a look at it. We will take a look at it. So 4-hour chart had the bullish divergence, right? Bullish divergence. This is looking like a potential higher low on the 4-hour chart. But after coming back up into the trend line, got rejected. So maybe it just takes some time, even on the 4-hour chart. Maybe it puts in this higher low, puts in another higher low, and then breaks out to come back up and then retest it there. So that's kind of what you're watching. You can drop down the lower time frames, see if it's putting in higher lows, right? See if it's putting in higher lows. If not, it is bearish on the overall higher time frames. Good morning, Hernan. Did I say that rightly? Or if I said it wrong, let me know. I apologize in advance. That's why Aldo's here. Aldo is keeping us. My stop loss just jump in my stop loss just jump in my soul short. Okay. We can take a look at it. Oh, someone else asked for soul anyways. It's okay. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's why Aldo's here. He misspells my name on purpose. Keep everything balanced. We appreciate it. So that's Riot. I know it's getting very messy here in the charts. We'll just kind of remove everything. And overall, it's still bearish. So it's kind of a wait and see if there's going to be a bounce or not on Riot. And on the miners, we'll take a look. So, okay, what else? Was your Twitter when it came up with full whites? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. If you move over to Twitter, it gets really bright. Yeah, it gets really bright. So, any white screen, right? So, also, I put out this video quick. If you missed this video from the weekend, definitely go take a look at it. The link is in the description as well. I think you want to take a look at it. This is based on the 3-month chart. So we keep talking about these bounces along the way based off of lower time frames on swing trading. But if you're more coming from an investor standpoint, this really covers a 3-month chart. And it's kind of like part 2 of the market crash, right? So definitely go take a look at those. But this was the most recent one. Spent 21 minutes on it on Saturday. And it brings up some more points of why longer term we could see some overall market corrections based off of the 3-month chart. So if you're an investor, you might want to go take a look at that one. And based off of that, you come up with your own conclusions, all that stuff. There's other narratives out there and stuff like that, but it's on longer time frames. So definitely go take a look at it. Useful. Okay, Sol. All right, let's take a look at it. Let's do it. Ugur, Aiden, anything specific on Sol, or you just want me to take a look at it? Up 6% today, right? 4-hour chart also had 4-hour chart also had that buy signal on. Well, it had a buy signal on Friday, but then it had another one on Sunday about the same time Bitcoin did. There's a lot of similarities to the Solana chart to Bitcoin. Both of them hit 3 targets to the upside out of 4. Both had 4-hour buy signals on the 4-hour chart on Sunday. Big wick up. Difference is Bitcoin ended up wicking all the way up to hit this 4th target. It only hit 3 targets before the reversal candle came all the way back down and then came all the way back up. Bitcoin hit this 4th target and then some, but it's closing back below as of right now. As we look at it, 28,150 or just below it, right? So it's currently ultra bullish on the 4-hour chart, right? Currently, let's see, on the daily chart, there's a buy signal on the daily chart back here on Friday. And then now this could be the first daily close back above the trending dots, but the day hasn't closed yet. So we'll see if it's going to have some follow through here, possibly to the upside. Again, could still close back below $24 and still put in a lower high, or it could be like one of those NASDAQ lower highs where it kind of came up like this, put in that lower high again, and then comes back down. So we're going to see it still be a lower high here, right? Still waiting and seeing if it's going to do that, but it did have that buy signal on the daily chart, is ultra bullish on the 4-hour chart. So take that for what it is. The weekly chart, let's zoom out here for a second on the weekly chart. Had that buy signal on the weekly chart at the end of September, so a couple weeks ago. Has not closed back below, right? Still above the trending dots. This, as of right now, is a higher low, right? But has not put in a higher high compared to here at $28. Did take out this level here. It's kind of in this consolidation area on the higher time frames. So it's kind of a wait and see, right? So you've got this peak here, you got a lower peak, and you've got a higher low here and a higher low here. So it's kind of right in the middle. And remember, this is day 1 of the weekly candle. So even though it's looking bullish right now, by the end of the week, it could close back bearish, similar to Ethereum, right? So Ethereum had the reversal candle on the weekly chart, put in a lower high, bounced all the way back up to $2,000, end up having a sell signal after that. So you can see where Ethereum, after reversing, came back down like this, battled all the way back up, and then started to reverse back down. Is Bitcoin at this area? And then it starts to close back down below the trending dots, sell signal back below. We don't know yet. We'll find out. So lower highs, right? Yep, lower highs, lower high. And now we're going to find out if it's going to continue to trend down. So this is Ethereum. As of right now, Solana, sometimes I call it Solano, Solana, right? Is this end up just going to be sold off at the end of the day, right? Let's look at the MACD. Still have that bullish MACD crossover, but underneath the MACD 0 line could end up just rolling back over, right? And then being bearish, similar to Ethereum. So it's kind of a wait and see right now. If you're in a short position, maybe you're continuing to hold it. Let's take a look at the comments. But the week, just be aware, the weekly chart is currently bullish. The daily chart is currently bullish. The 4-hour chart is currently ultra bullish, right? Doesn't mean it couldn't reverse back down, but the chart is what it is, and that's what we have to say. I still have a short position. Okay, where was your short position taken from, right? Ugur, Aiden? Was it back up here, right? And could this end up being a lower high? Those are all factors on the daily chart, right? There's no bullish MACD crossover as of yet. It had a big move down, and this could just be like one of those things where kind of let the MACD catch up. Could even reverse and then reverse back down, similar to the weekly chart. So you took a short at say 2260, right? Broke down, and now it started reversing back around. What time frame did you end up taking the short on? I'll close it. Yeah, I mean, you just have to decide where you took an entry from, right? And where was your stop loss at? So it came all the way back up here, right? And almost, but has not taken out the wicks here, where many of the stop losses probably were put in. Unless you're on high leverage, then many of the stop losses might have been put here at, depending on the leverage amount, 24, 26. All those were taken out, right? So if you're on a lot higher leverage, maybe at 22.45, and so on and so on. But if you're on the daily chart, woohoo, I made it. Grant, longtime sniper. Awesome. 4 a.m. Oh my gosh. So early there. So I can watch some of the rest after my morning swim. Yes. Nice. Make sure you get those workouts in, my man. Are we smashing the like button? Are we going to hit 100 likes today? That would be awesome. That'd be amazing. I would appreciate it. Wow, we're already over an hour, but we have a lot to cover. And I still think we have a couple more, but we're on Solana right now. The 4-hour chart. All right. So, Ugur, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. You took a short position, right? And we're all about profits. So if you're on the 4-hour chart, you need to continue to trade the 4-hour chart. If you take an entry on the 4-hour chart, you want to take an exit on the 4-hour chart. That's what I recommend first and foremost. So, for example, if you took a short position, say it was a breakdown, right? Sell signal, even at $23, right? You're saying 22.60. Based off of that, if we're just going to be honest on this channel. It seems like on the 4-hour chart, it's kind of late to the party at that point on the short for this 4-hour chart. So if we kind of draw it out here, right? Seems like 4-hour, it started breaking back down here at $23, kind of pushed back up, put in another lower high, start breaking down again here above $23. Sell signal just below $23. Battling, right? You could even draw this out on the 4-hour chart, right? And that's kind of like that last sell signal there. So seems a little bit late to the party, but not too late. Still getting in at 22.60, right? So I personally, if I was trading on the yep, I joined a little late. Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep it honest. You're Aiden. We're going to keep it honest here. Even if you're a longtime sniper, I'm going to keep it honest. This breakdown, I would rather see you get it here where it's starting to break down, starting to show a sell signal somewhere around there. It's breaking down just above $23. You catch that flush down, right? But you got in like midway of the flush, right? And then it comes back down, wicks, right? And then it continues down. So here we are. If we're looking at the 4-hour chart, so here's where I would have liked, to take profit. If you're coming down to hit key target areas and you're on the lower time frame, you've got like it was getting oversold on the 4-hour chart as an awareness, right? As an awareness, maybe you have a take profit at a key target area, or you're watching the MACD flip around bearish on the 4-hour chart, right? Up in here. And then you've got candle closes above the trending dots. You've got buy signal on the RSI, sell signal right there, right? That's at 2149. So that move, like breaking down from here and then like some sort of reversal. So anywhere from like there to there, you're taking 7% off the table based off the 4-hour chart. And that's not even including leverage, right? So that for me would have been a better play overall. And that's what you want to see as sniper, right? You want to see it break down. You're seeing it break down in real time. You're jumping in, right? You're setting your stop loss. If you're on high leverage, you're probably putting your stop loss in here at 2360. And if you didn't take profit there, and then there was a buy signal, and then a higher low on the 4-hour chart, and it's flipping around, and now it's ultra bullish on the 4-hour chart, you're late to getting out of the position, right? And then it would have stopped me. Like if I had a stop loss here and I didn't get out of my position on a 4-hour chart, I would have been stopped out, right? And at some point, for me, the way I work, like if I was on leverage on a 4-hour chart and I got it and I put the stop loss at say 2360 as an example, and it started to flush down, I would have been moving my stop loss to break even. If I was getting in around 20, just above $23, and I would want to move to my stop loss to break even and watch it in real time, and then watching it, and then you see it get into like this oversold area as an awareness, and then you see this candle like it's starting to look like a reversal, right? And then you're starting to see it get back in here, MACD bullish crossover, blah, 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 higher low. This should be your last, then you have a buy signal here on Sunday, right? Sunday morning when I put out the post on the X app, hey, buy signal on Bitcoin 4-hour chart, right? Like these are all things to like, hey, at what point do you get out and lock in those profits, right? We are for profit as swing traders. This is what we do. We like to rock and roll. So if you're trading these lower time frames, this is what you do. I don't use high leverage, just 3x maximum. I am grateful, thankful. You got it. You got it, my man. Awesome. That's the way I look at it. And at the end of the day, if you're at a loss opportunity right now, you got it at 2260. It's better to live to fight another day. Take this as a learning experience. It doesn't mean it couldn't just flip back around, but when you got the weekly chart is bullish, the daily chart is bullish, the 4-hour chart is ultra bullish, and it had buy signals, higher lows. At what point do you get out of your short position, live to fight another day, take a loss, is better than blowing up an account or taking a bigger loss. It can remain, bouncing until it's not, right? Take it all the way back up. So take that for what it is. I hope that helps. Thank you, Hernan. Hernan. Oh my God. We will continue to learn until we die. Yeah. Just don't blow up the accounts, and you can take this as a life learning trading lesson. If you're on the 4-hour chart, yes, you hope that the higher time frames flip over and you can push it for longer. But first and foremost, if it's breaking down in the 4-hour chart and then it's starting to reverse on the 4-hour chart, you want to trade the 4-hour chart first and foremost. And so that's what you're watching. All right, let's get back to it. Grant, my man, longtime sniper, awesome. So when you swim, are you swimming like fast laps, long laps? Are you training for anything? We want to know. We're interested. Yep, I joined a little bit late. That's okay. It's okay, my man. You'll figure it out. Could you take a look per 06? Could you take a look at on Medfast stock? Yes, possible long entry. Wait, did I miss something? A soul? Did I miss one? Oh yeah. Zomber, let me know it's still here. Let's take a look at this. I think I might have missed it, so let me backtrack. Crypto here on KUJI. I don't think I've traded this one. So unless you tell me what exchange you're trading on, I'm just going to take the largest one that I know. Usually it's Binance, right? Just because it usually has more chart history. But we'll take a look at MEXC. This is the 4-hour chart, right? Let's zoom out here on the weekly chart. Let's take a look, right? Let's take a look. So not a lot of chart history, first and foremost. And if you're looking for a longer term accumulation, right? So I had this peak here at $1.90, had a low here at 30 cents, and basically somewhere in the middle, right? And if you look back, going all the way back to this wick here at 90 cents, it basically hasn't done much, Zomber. It's basically been going, I mean, it has if you're on lower time frames. It's had some good swing trades, I'm sure of it. But just from an overall standpoint, going back to this wick of January 2023, this whole entire year, it's been going sideways, right? It's still the same exact price as it was January 2023, right? Had a bullish crossover on the MACD, had a buy signal on the weekly chart. It's still currently bullish on the weekly chart. Not enough history to have any thoughts on the monthly chart, right? And it doesn't mean it won't continue to consolidate and break down. As of right now, though, it is bullish on the weekly chart. It is bullish on the daily chart. So is it better to, from your standpoint of accumulating long term, is it better to accumulate while the daily chart is ultra bullish, or is it better to accumulate after there's a retracement, right? Because if you're accumulating now, is that chasing the market, right? So you have the buy signal back here at 71 cents. Now it's ultra bullish. Are you chasing the market? And would you feel some fear of missing out, right? Fear of missing out until there's a retracement. Yeah, you're probably going to feel that, right? But for me, like I would want to wait for like some sort of like retracement and buy at lower prices, right? So I wouldn't want to personally, if I'm looking at this, right? I wouldn't want to accumulate now, right? I don't want to accumulate back here and buy the right dip. So if you're looking at it, I don't want to buy on this breakout. You're getting a buy signal and it's starting to break out. I don't want to buy here at 71 cents and push it as long as possible. I wouldn't want to buy up in here, right? It's ultra bullish. And at some point, right, there's going to be a correction. So wherever that is, who knows? I mean, this thing could take off. There's not a lot of history on it. It could take off while it's bullish and ultra bullish and start putting in bearish divergence. But for me, accumulation purposes, I'd rather accumulate. If I was going to accumulate and buy the dip, I'm looking for bullish divergence. I'm looking for buy signals and breakouts. I'd rather accumulate and buy back here than at this point right now. So it'd be a wait and see right now. You missed the breakout, or you didn't miss the breakout and you wanted to buy more. Maybe you already accumulated down in these areas. We don't know. If you did, awesome. Congratulations. You're up right now. So Javier Reyes. Hi, Jesse. What's up, Javier? So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions. Looking to accumulate long-term. Peter, thanks so much, my man. You got it. Thank you for smashing the like button. I know you did. Good morning. What a day. You're telling me. You're telling me. You're telling me. I had to close my short and profit. We're bouncing, right? It's okay. Thank you. I still have a short position. Yep, we'll cover this. Not financial advice, just showing you what I see in the charts. If you're trading the 4-hour chart and you take a short position based off the 4-hour chart and it starts reversing on the 4-hour chart, then you want to be able to lock in those profits on the 4-hour chart, keeping in mind what the overall trend is doing. Early, 4 a.m. is early. It's okay. It's okay. You're Aiden. Medfast per 06. You still here per 06? Possible long entry. I watched it, but I guess I missed it. Okay. It's okay. It's okay if you missed it. I missed it. I didn't trade Med either. It's okay. The great thing about swing trading and investing is that there's always new opportunities each and every day, whether to the upside or the downside. So let's take a look at it. Medfast stock. All right, let's take a look. Medfast Inc. There it is. Thank you for letting me all the details on it so I can search for it much faster. Here we go. Daily chart doesn't even have a buy signal yet. So possible long entry. I watched it, but I guess I missed it. Well, depends how early you're going to be, right? It's still currently bearish on the daily chart. Yes. Okay. Let's zoom out here. Let's zoom out. The weekly chart is still bearish, right? So this goes back to like, are you picking bottoms? So you might have missed today's move of 2.87%, but you may not have missed anything. So what happens is, I don't know where you found this med stock, or if you found it like on another YouTube channel or the X app, or you saw it on the news, blah, blah, blah. Let me know what source of media you found it. I don't care whose channel you watched it. We don't need to call out anyone. But if you watched it on YouTube channel or the X app or Twitch or whatever it is, let me know where you saw that, where you found your lead source, or maybe you found it yourself. That would be awesome. But the weekly chart overall is still bearish, right? The weekly chart is still bearish and has been in a bear market since May 2021. Still had that bearish crossover on the MACD. Could still take some time. You still have bullish divergence playing out since September 2022 on the weekly chart. No higher low has been put in as of yet. This is bullish divergence and could continue to put in future bullish divergence, meaning lower prices, right? So as of right now, in my opinion, you haven't missed anything yet, right? There's no longer term reversal as of yet. And at some point, it could come all the way back up and retest the 200-week moving average. It has not since breaking down of August 2022, so more than a year. But like I said, it could be going through a bottoming phase. We don't know where that bottom is, where it ends up being. So we'll continue to watch it. If you look here on the daily chart, let's zoom in here. Maybe we'll see what you're saying, right? We are starting to see relative strength on the daily chart, right? There is a MACD bullish crossover, but it's well below the MACD zero line, right? There is relative strength gaining on the daily chart. We're at 44 as of right now. There was a buy signal as of right now. The day has not closed. The day has not closed, right? There is some bullish divergence shorter term on the daily chart. Have not even had a daily close back above the trending dots yet. There's no buy signal yet. It's still early, in my opinion. So how this could play out, if the weekly chart still has bullish divergence and is still bearish on the weekly chart, you're still at RSI 35 on the weekly chart. I can tell you a massive reversal to the 200-week moving average is not going to happen until RSI weekly starts to flip back around bullish, maybe 40, above 45, getting closer and higher up into the 40s. You're not going to miss a major move until then. And so could this be the low? Could be at $69. As of right now, it's too early to say, especially the weekly chart. So what could happen? It could have a buy signal. It could retrace. It could bounce up, right? Retrace, come all the way back down, put in a higher low. And then the weekly chart continues to flip around bullish, a month or 2 months or multiple months, right? continue like this, put in additional higher lows along the way, continue to consolidate, right? And then at some point, there could be that breakout, right? So I think based off the weekly chart, it would take some time to get the ship turned around. Doesn't mean there won't be some big fluctuations, some big bounces along the way, right? Also, could do something crazy like this, breaks straight up, come back down, puts in like a higher low way up here at some point. I think it's less likely. I think it'd be some sort of like consolidation with bounces along the way. That's what I'm waiting and watching for. If you have any follow, I'm not planning to personally buy Med, but that's what I'd be watching on the chart. So hope that answers your questions. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions. I don't use high leverage. Awesome. I love it. Until you're fully dialed in, I wouldn't even say to use leverage until you're ready. But 3x is a lot better than 5x. 5x is a lot better than 10x. And 10x is a lot better than 50x leverage, right? Unless you're scalping and doing the lower time frames as a super expert, I wouldn't do it. You always see people post their gains with 20x, 10x, 50x leverage, 100x leverage, crazy gains. You never see them post losses, right? And then recently I had a troll on the X app, and they posted 3 major gains with high leverage, calling that they're the king, right? And it turned out it was 3 different names, 3 different trading accounts. It wasn't even them. There's always the scammers. There's always the king scammers out there. We know that. We're smarter than that. We don't fall for that. We're market snipers. So all that stuff is noise. We just stick to what we're trading. That's the 4. If you're trading the 4-hour chart, and you're trading the 3x leverage, make sure you have your strategy in place and you stick to the 4-hour chart and you stay on it, with the possibility of potential of pushing the trade a lot longer. Holy moly, guacamole. We're at an hour and a half. Whew, deep breath here. Let me know if you're still here. Let me know if you're smashing the like button. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions. We will continue to learn. Yep. You know it. Javier. What's up, Javier? Thank you. You're welcome. Yes. Okay. And last one. It was on the 4-hour chart. Sorry for skipping that. Oh, okay. Let's take a look. We're here. 4-hour chart. Buy signal in the 4-hour chart. So there was bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart per 06, right? So you got bullish divergence. There's no I always got to think about this in real time. There's no higher low on the 4-hour chart as of yet. So what you could see is possibly, maybe not, right? Maybe it just bounces up like that. At some point, there's going to be a higher low, right? And then that might be your entry in at that point, right? So if you didn't get in like upon breakout on the 4-hour chart, like if you're looking at more aggressive, more aggressive 4-hour chart, right? This would be like more aggressive in my nature of like what you're doing. Like I'd have this trend line drawn out, right? I have this trend line drawn out, maybe even like that. And you see this 4-hour chart, and then it kind of gaps up to this trend line. I'd be looking to get in right around like that $73.45, and then it pushes up. But it doesn't mean on these lower time frames, after the bullish divergence right there, right? Bullish divergence doesn't mean it couldn't come back, retest it, put in a higher low, and then continue out. And then you would see like an additional potential breakout or something, around there is a possibility. So, if you are on the 4-hour chart and you feel like you're chasing now, what I would say is don't chase, right? It's still bearish on the weekly chart. There's signs of strength on the daily chart, but still currently bearish. But there was a 4-hour chart bullish there. All right. Please serve for my family. Which one, Javier? Which asset? Please serve for my family. Awesome. Love it. Love it. Lawrence still here. Awesome. How many likes do we have? Are we getting close to that 100? I doubt it. We're going to need help from the replay crew, but I'm sure we'll get it. Let's see. Let's do it. Let's get obnoxious and subscribe. Let's do the like channel. If you missed it, right? If you missed it, definitely go check out this. Oh, let me take that subscribe button off. If you missed it, definitely check out this video that I did on Saturday. I planned to do it on Thursday, not Thursday. I had planned to do it on, no, I thought about it on Thursday. I talked about possibly doing it on Friday. And then on Saturday, I had more time. I wanted to spend more time on it. I recorded 21 minutes talking about it. I think it's definitely worth watching it. And so definitely go check out that video if you missed it. All these Bitcoin updates, you know, even the reversal, and then the first stock market crash video, they're based off of higher time frames. So we do expect bounces along the way, especially when the liquidation games are getting played out. 65 million BTC liquidated. We always expect bounces and retracements along the way. All right. So that's about it. Without any other follow-up questions, we'll probably call it. Aldo 31. Nice. Nice. That's pretty good with the live crew. The replay crew is going to come through. It's going to push us even higher. I keep clicking the like button, but it only counts as one vote. I know. Thank you. We'll eventually get there. I appreciate everyone. Hope you had a good weekend. Thanks for your continued support, and we will see you on tomorrow's live stream.